Yeah, you know I'm gonna say it. Race and rescue! Hey guys, it's Nether, and welcome back to NetherReviews, a sub-series on the channel where I take a look at stuff I've never owned before. And today, of course, we have finally the last parts of the most recent race and rescue case, that being Red, the fire truck from Cars. Of course, this is a little bit interesting because I can already tell this specific diecast had to be scaled down from his original version that we have all grown so used to over the past couple of years. But here's all of the other race and rescue diecasts that I have already reviewed. They already have full videos up on the channel for each one. If you for some reason have missed any of these videos, I'll put a little iCard in the top right so you can go ahead and take a look at those whenever you get the chance, maybe after this, maybe in the middle of it. But all of these guys that you're seeing here already have reviews up on the channel if you want to go take a look. But of course, we finally have Red, who is looking to be the more difficult part of this case to get a hold of. I noticed that for the last case, Mater was the one that was harder to get a hold of because he was only in one piece per that case, and Red is the exact same way. Only one of him comes per case, so you got to get him right when they restock the case or you are out of luck. I've already seen all of these other ones multiple times. I have not seen a Red more than once, so if you see him, be sure to grab him while you can. But with that, let's take a look at the card art here. It's a pretty basic render for Red, obviously with the Race and Rescue livery, the Race and Rescue logo in the top right. It's new for 2025. The splash art looks really nice on this diecast, and here we have Red, who of course he's got some heft to him. At the bottom there it says Red, Rouge, Rojo, and Vermelro. I've got no idea what that says. If anyone in the comments knows what that language is, please let me know. But anyways, back to Red himself. The splash art looks really great on him. Here's the back. It seems to be the more updated version of the Race and Rescue card back, so with Sarge and also Jackson on the back there to show off the most recent case of Race and Rescue. Really excited to finally crack this guy open and get a good look at what is probably one of the better Race and Rescue diecast in the line, because truthfully, I mean, he's kind of the only one that makes sense since he is a fire truck, he is a rescue vehicle, so obviously he's going to look some of the best in this look. So with that all being said, let's crack him open, shall we? Start from the bottom like I always do. Try not to, you know, bust the card art too bad. We'll put the art right there, and here we have Red. Yeah, he's got some heft to him. He's about the same weight as Mater, which is pretty nifty. But here is Red. Got the big rescue printing on the side, Race and Rescue right on his door. There is his expression. He's looking quite happy, and there's the other side mimicking, you know, the opposite side with the same rescue. The blue trims around his wheels look really nice, like it contrasts perfectly up against the bright red and this like kind of royal blue that he's got going on. It looks really good. And there's the back, radiator springs 002. He looks really nice, honestly. He's definitely smaller. I think it's pretty obvious this is a scaled down version of the original diecast Red. He is no longer a deluxe vehicle. He is now just a normal diecast, and here is how they scale. I'd say he's about like maybe 0.8 times smaller. He's not a lot. I thought he was going to be way smaller. What's interesting is that this one feels like it weighs more than this one. I don't know if I'm going crazy. This is a Cars 3 Red, I believe. Disney Pixar made in China. I don't have a Thailand Red to show. He's also quite dusty. But there they are. This is so interesting. I love how they made him work. Obviously people will complain and be like, oh, I like the bigger Red more, it looks better, and you know, that's up for you guys to debate. But I don't hate the Race and Rescue guy for making him a little smaller. One thing I do notice off the bat immediately is that all of the gray here was silver on the original, and now it is just a flat gray plastic, which honestly doesn't look nearly as nice. Like, that looks kind of cheap. This looks hefty and like industrial, but this looks plasticky and I don't think that was the vibe they were going for, but that's just what we're looking at here. And there's the back, same sort of deal. You know, certain parts of this are shinier than how they look on this guy. I think the ladder on the new one looks better than the old one. I think that's a much nicer gray color. Ignore all the dust, please, on the left red. Also, the red himself, or the red itself, I should say, is a lot brighter on the Race and Rescue diecast. You can obviously tell. It's more of like an orangey color, I want to say, compared to the reds. The old red's more red. If I had a nickel for every time I've said red in this video, and obviously, instead of saying Radiator Springs up here, it says Rescue, but this says Radiator Springs Race and Rescue, and this just says Radiator Springs Fire Department. And obviously, the wheels are different. You can see the new one has yellow with sort of a blue look for the inside, and obviously, oh my god, we keep hitting the tripod. And obviously, the blue trim around the fenders. That's the word. And the same goes for the bottom. Blue trim around the fenders. And just a yellow rim. Is that, hang on, that's not blue, that's gray. And a gray interior for both. That looks kind of bluish though. No, it's supposed to be gray. It's a gray interior, and same for this wheel with the yellow rim as well. The old one is all red. There's the bottom of both of them. Obviously, this one has the more chrome plastic, but it is still just plastic. And the new one has a more matte, basic gray color. And obviously this one is made in Thailand, while the top one is made in China. So you guys let me know, what red do you like more? I personally don't. Let's scale this guy, because this is the original red. Let's scale him with McQueen. Yeah, that looks about right to the movie. He might look a little bit big, truthfully, but I'm trying to think of like that one scene where he's spraying water on McQueen because Sally told him to. That's the old red, and this is baby red, we'll call him. I don't know, call me crazy, I kind of like Race and Rescue scaling more. I don't know what it is. I just think he's cuter, and I feel like he looks better alongside the others instead of being this guy. And he's oh no, the card art, no, and this guy just looks, I don't know, I feel like he looks too big. But maybe like my mind is just warped. Like maybe this is the perfect scaling for these two, and I haven't watched the movies in a while, truthfully. But part of me likes the new one scaling a little bit more. Like maybe I'm lying. Let's compare this guy again. Okay, no, I like the old ones more. This side profile view kind of did it for me. I think the old one is better in scaling. But the new one isn't bad at all. Like, I think it's serviceable. It's fine. I like it, if anything. If they made him, like, the size of, like, Sheriff, I think that would be reason for concern. Or, like, just, I don't know. He kind of is the size of Sheriff. I think if they made him a lot smaller, it would have been a problem. But they kind of made him, I feel like, as big as they could, while also knowing that they had to keep him scaled down so he could fit in the single packaging without them having to re-release the deluxe line. I know people on Instagram were quite vocal about how they didn't like how Mattel was doing deluxe sized vehicles as a just regular single and how they were scaling them down. But I think truthfully deluxes just never really sold, and I think they knew that if they made these specifically deluxes and sold them separately, they would probably be peg warmers. So I can't say I hate what they did with red here. I think he looks really nice. I think the scaling is fine. It's nothing crazy. He doesn't look tiny. He still looks like a big fire truck compared to somebody like Lightning, or I think even Mater. I think that scaling is okay. Obviously, he's going to be a little bit on the smaller side, but it's either we have this or we have peg warmers that don't sell. And personally, I'm more on the fan of making him a little bit smaller and ensuring that the deluxes do not peg warm, because I feel like they did that a lot back in the day. But with that, let's close out the review, and we'll look at everything Race and Rescue so far, and we'll look forward to the future of it. We are officially 9 die casts into Race and Rescue, and honestly, I'm really loving this sideline in the main line. I think people were giving it way too much slack, kind of calling it a waste or calling it uninspired. I really like the way that they're doing this line. It is such a breath of fresh air from the main line of toys. And obviously I have a ton of reviews to do on those guys, but I've loved reviewing Race and Rescue so far, and I cannot wait for the other diecasts to release, like Jeff and Danny and, you know, all of those amazing cars. And this is honestly a great start. I think my favorite honestly is probably either, I don't know, I love Rally Race McQueen, I love Rally Race Storm, I really love Race and Rescue Mater. But you guys let me know what your top 3 are from the ones that we have released so far. I am genuinely curious to know what you guys are thinking of Race and Rescue right now. I know a lot of you guys are really excited to find this at stores, and some of you guys are kind of, you know, 50-50, don't really care for the series, but you'll get it if you know, you'll pick it up if you find it, kind of thing. But yeah, and let me know what you think of this scaled down version that we have compared to his older, bigger variant. Let me know if you guys are a fan of how they're doing this, or if you guys would just much rather have deluxes back in the flesh. I'm really curious to know what you guys think. But until then, I will see you guys in the next one for more Race and Rescue or something else along the lines. I'll see you then. Take care.